Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Maddie, and for this video I'm going to be telling you about my June TBR. So for the month of June, my TBR is going to be actually based off of a readathon. So Maddie over at Books Browsing blog is going to be doing a readathon for the first time called Whateverathon, or Whatever You Want-a-thon. And if you want to learn more about the readathon, I would suggest to go over to her channel. I'll link the channel down below. And it basically is whatever you want to read. She designed it because it's her birthday in June, because Pride Month, and also because it's just going to be a really fun readathon where you pretty much read whatever you want. Again, if you want to know more about the readathon, I would suggest to go to her channel. She has a video on it, she has a FAQ video, and she goes through a lot of details because it actually is a little complicated of a readathon. Although you can read whatever you want, it is a competitive readathon where there are teams. Each book has a certain amount of points that you can earn. Basically, it's just to really push yourself to read as much as possible and to really try and get LGBTQ focused stories. So for me, I decided to pledge 6 books for my goal for the readathon, and I actually have them right here, although I technically have 7 books, but I'll tell you why in a second. But first, I thought I would read a joke. What did the policeman say to his belly button? You're under a vest. That's really bad. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I'm really excited about this. It's my first readathon. I've been doing a TBR game for a few months now just for myself to kind of push myself to read a lot more, and it really has been working. I've succeeded in every single TBR I've done so far this year, and then some. You'll be seeing a video really soon where I'm going to be going over what books I read for this month of May, but let's just say it's a lot more than what I had planned. But for the month of June, I specifically have a TBR designed around the prompts and around the challenge of the readathon that Maddie is putting on. So again, if you want to know more about why I chose the books that I chose, please go to her channel to see what the prompts are. I won't go into detail on what prompts were for which book. Just know that they were based off of prompts for her readathon. So the first book that I'm going to be reading is actually for a book club that Maddie is putting on. It's the Burned Books Club. I've been doing it for about 3 months now. They choose a book for every 2 months. I could do a video based off of what books we did for the Burned Books Club if you're interested, but if you don't need me to explain it, then please go to her channel as well. She explains what the book club is. I highly recommend joining it. It basically focuses on dystopian books. So if you're really interested in dystopia, she does a little bit of LGBTQ-centric. Check it out. And I mean, personally, it's not that challenging of a book club. We do 1 book every 2 months. They're usually really interesting books, and they also have a live show that they do. They have a Discord chat where you could talk about the books for every month. It's really fun. But for the month of May and June, it is Docile by K.M. Szpara. I'm actually really excited about this. I've never read this author, but I've heard a lot of really good things. I know it's LGBTQ, which is why I'm reading it for Pride Month. It's a dystopian book. It sounds really interesting. So the back cover says, "There is no consent under capitalism. To be a docile is to be kept, body and soul, for the use of the owner of your contract. To be a docile is to forget, to disappear, to hide inside your body from the horrors of your service. To be a docile is to sell yourself to pay your parents' debts and buy your children's future." Elisha Wilder's family has been ruined by debt handed down to them from previous generations. His mother never recovered from the docile she took during her term as a docile, so when Elisha decides to try to erase the family's debt himself, he swears he will never take the drug that took his mother from him. Too bad his contract has been purchased by Alexander Bishop III, whose ultra-rich family is the brains behind Docile and the debtor system. When Elijah refuses Docile, Alex is determined to turn Elijah into the perfect docile without it. So the next book that I am going to be reading for my June TBR is Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. So I haven't read anything from this author either, but it looks really cute. It's a romance with LGBTQ, guy and guy. The back says, 2 infamous rivals, 1 epic road trip, some uncomfortably tight quarters, and a journey neither will ever forget. Charming, charismatic, and effortlessly popular, Conrad Stewart seems to have it all, but in reality, he's scrambling to keep his life from falling apart. Brilliant, guarded, and endlessly driven, Alden Roth is the poster boy for perfection, but but even he can't help but feel a little broken inside. When these mortal enemies are stuck together on a cross-country road trip to the biggest fan convention of their lives, their infamous rivalry takes a back seat as an unexpected connection grows. Yet each has a reason they have to win the upcoming gaming tournament, and neither is willing to let emotions get in the way, even if it means giving up their one chance at something truly magical. So, rival, romance, it looks really cute. It sounds nerdy. I'm really excited about it. It's about almost 400 pages. There's actually really cute drawings. I didn't even know that. So in the back of the book, there's these really cute, like, sketches. I mean, it's really cute. The author's note has a cute little cow drawing. Like, what? But anyway, I'm really excited about this book. Definitely gonna be fun. Okay, so the third book for my June TBR is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I actually have 3 of the books in this series. I think there's 5 books in the Truthwitch series. Haven't started it yet. Really interested in it. It's LGBTQ. Jade from Jade Reads loves this series. This is actually why I had bought the book, was because she had recommended it. It looks really interesting. Sounds really interesting. It's a long series, so definitely if I love the first book, I will have many more to enjoy. But the back says, "In the Witchlands, some are born with a magical skill that sets them apart. Sophia is a truth witch, able to tell truth from lie. It's a powerful magic that many would kill for, so Safi must hide her gift, lest she be used as a political pawn. Iseult, a thread witch, sees the emotional ties that entangle lives around her, but she cannot see her own. She has a cool, wary balance to Sophia's hot-headed impulsiveness. Sophia and Iseult just want to live their own lives, but war is coming to the Witchlands. With the help of Prince Merrick, a wind witch, the friends must fight emperors, soldiers, and a wicked blood witch, all who will stop at nothing to get their hands on a truth witch." So yeah, this seems really cool. I mean, so even the titles alone, Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Blood Witch, and then I think there's, again, 4 or 5 books in the series. It seems really interesting. It seems like I don't really know anything about the series, so I'm going in blind, and I love doing that with books. But yeah, it seems like it's like witching, but there's very specific types of witches, kind of like classes in D&D. I don't know. It seems really interesting. I'm really excited to give this book a go. All right, so the 4th book in my June TBR is Call Me by Your Name by Andre Acimon. I haven't seen the movie, haven't read the book, have heard a lot of bad things about this, although I've heard the movie is pretty good. Really sad, obviously LGBTQ. I'm a little nervous to read this because I have heard that it's kind of hard to get through with how the relationship progresses, but I want to give it a go. I mean, it's for Pride Month. It's obviously a pretty well-known book. I'll want to watch the movie once I finish it. Call Me by Your Name is a story of a sudden and powerful romance that blossoms between an adolescent boy and a summer guest at his parents' cliffside mansion on the Italian Riviera. Each is unprepared for the consequences of their attraction when, during the restless summer weeks, unrelenting currents of obsession, fascination, and desire intensify their passion and test the charged ground between them. Recklessly, the two verge toward the one thing both fear they may never truly find again: total intimacy. So yeah, I'm going to give this a go. Alright, the 5th book for the TBR game is V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic, part of the trilogy that she wrote. I am a huge fan of V.E. Schwab now after reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and also the trilogy or the duology that she had written for her YA series, which was The Savage Song and A Dark Duet. I loved every book that I've read so far of her, and I'm really excited to give this book a go and to give this series a go. I'm actually going to be doing a buddy read with this. Part of the Whateverathon, Maddie had created a Discord that has buddy read links, so I'm going to be buddy reading this with a bunch of other people from the readathon. So really excited about this. The back says, "Welcome to Grey London, dirty and boring, without any magic, with one mad king, George III. Then there is Red London, where life and magic are revered, and White London, a city slowly being drained through magical war, down to its very bones. And once upon a time, there was Black London, but no one speaks of that now. Officially, Kel is the Red Traveler, one of the last magicians who can travel between the worlds. acting as ambassador and messenger between the Londons, in service of the Marsh Empire. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, which is a dangerous hobby for him to have, as proved when Kell stumbles into a setup with a forbidden token from Black London. Fleeing into Grey London, Kell runs afoul of Delilah Bard, a cut-purse with lofty aspirations, who first robs him, then saves him from a dangerous enemy, and then forces Kell to sprite her to another world for a proper adventure. But perilous magic is afoot, and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all of the worlds, they'll first need to stay alive. So excited for this. It's going to be a really fun fantasy trilogy that I'm starting this month. May even read the second book this month for June. I'm definitely going to read through this trilogy as fast as possible because it just sounds really fun. Okay, so the sixth book that I'm reading for the TBR is Morgan Rogers' Honey Girl. I actually just started getting Book of the Month, and I'm really excited. I haven't read any of them except for Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, so I have a backlog of a couple books from a couple months. So I'm really excited to read this one. It's LGBTQ because she is lesbian, and it just seems really interesting. With her newly completed PhD in astronomy in hand, Grace Porter goes on a girls' trip to Vegas to celebrate. She's a straight-A, hardworking, high achiever. She is not the kind of person who goes to Vegas and gets drunkenly married to a woman whose name she doesn't know, until she does exactly that. This one beautiful, spontaneous moment upends Grace's carefully laid life plans. Staggering under the weight of her parents' expectations, a struggling job market, and feelings of burnout, Grace flees her home in Portland for a summer in New York with the wife she barely knows. In New York, she is able to ignore all the constant questions about her future and falls hard for her creative and gorgeous wife, Yuki Yamamoto. But when reality comes crashing in, Grace must face what she's been running from all along, the fears that make us human, and the need for connection, especially when navigating the messiness of adulthood. So it's a romance. I think it also is sort of a contemporary in that it's talking about her life as a PhD student and, just her struggles as she goes through. I'm really excited to read this one. It's not a very long book. Seems to be about 300 pages, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. And then the final book in my TBR, the seventh book, is actually a graphic novel. So I've been reading Saga for most of the year. I've been reading about one volume of this a month. I'm really excited. This is book 5 of the series. It's about two different species of aliens kind of falling in love, these two people making a baby, and then kind of how they're just running from society, running from the different governments trying to arrest them. I'm really excited about reading this. It's definitely something that I'm going to continue to read. I don't know how many there are right now of this. I know it's still ongoing, but I am on volume 5. So I'll be reading that this month. Okay, so that's my TBR for June. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be my first readathon, like I said. Again, please look at Maddie's channel, linked below, to take part if you would like. And I hope you're going to be able to follow along in my journey. Thank you again, and please like my video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and please leave a comment saying what your June TBR is going to be. Alright, hope you have a good day.